things. We're going to add those things to the live stream today. It is live. Don't know too many people who will go under the gun live, because it seems like every time something will go wrong. For instance, today, I love using this kind of a trackball thing, and it just died just seconds before trying to go live, and it's wireless. Change the batteries, change the transponder, the transmitter thing, all that fun stuff, and yet still it goes crazy. Up there, you'll see a link. If you wish to submit a question during this live stream, you can either type it in the comments wherever you're watching this, or in the live stream chat if you're on YouTube, or you could submit it on my website, which is secure. It's using a Google form. That's seniorssavingsnetwork.org/questions. I can't guarantee to get to all the questions today, but I'm going to do my best. So seniorssavingsnetwork.org/questions. In there, it will ask you if you want to put your name in there. That's great. And if you wanted to be contacted afterward in case we couldn't get to it on the live stream, that's fine too. We can try to do our best to do that. So I have a couple of things prepared as we're accounting and accumulating those things there, the questions. And as we're going to get going, there was a lot of interest this past week on the situation with regard to the Part B of Medicare increase, going from the premium of $148.50 for 2021 to now going up to $170.10. An expert on the news the other day just said it was $170.50. We've all made our mistakes on live television, but I don't think many people have covered really why it's going to such a high cost. And if you've not yet seen why, I encourage you to see the video that we did just the other day, a live stream, going behind the scenes and pulling back the onion layers to find out what it is that they're using to justify such an extreme 14.8% increase. Never has happened before in Part B. It's a very complicated algorithm as to how they got there, but I'll tell you, it's a pretty interesting study. So I just turned on my cell phone so I can watch what's going on the live stream as well. Betty Boop said, I'm turning 65 in 2022. Should I start looking into Medigap and such right now? It depends when in 22. Look at my hair. I'm supposed to be getting a haircut. There's no time during AEP. Gonna happen soon. 6 months before you turn 65, and hopefully you're starting your Part B when you turn 65, which will then make Part B effective on the first day of the month that you're 65 if you've applied for it within 3 months prior. We can help you with that at a website that I made called 𝗏𝑜tostartmedicare.com. Pretty simple, huh? 𝗏𝑜tostartmedicare.com. When you apply for Part B, if you're going to do it at age 65, you can look at your Medicare Supplement plan, your Medigap plan, 6 months before. So we have 6 months before your activation date where we can not only see what plans will be available for you, but we can actually write the application for you. And what that does is two things. One, it will lock in today's rate. So if the next quarter there were to be a rate increase, that would not impact you because we can write your plan 6 months before Part B starts. Now, that also goes for you folks that are working past 65, which is a vast majority now, working beyond age 65, and you are on an employer plan, which qualifies to take the place of Medicare. It's qualifying coverage, and that means that you've been working on an employer plan greater than 20 employees that are covered on that plan. So if you are working in a large group and you decide to delay Part B, you can absolutely do that. How long? For as long as you've got qualifying coverage, actively employed. Once you decide to leave that coverage, it's a good idea a couple months before that you go and apply for Part B to start. And you can write in the comments there that you request it to start 2 months from now on a specific day if you wish. There's instructions on how to do that, again, at 𝗏𝑜tostartmedicare.com, either for turning 65 or delaying your Medicare. Either way, we have a 6 month window before, and it's exactly 6 months before Part B were to start, where we could lock in a Medicare supplement rate today with the best rate available. That's the first thing. It locks in today's rate. You could avoid some rate increases. The second thing is all the carriers that we've decided to do business with, and that's not everybody in the market for a reason, because I study Medicare all day, every day, and that's all I do. There are some companies we've chosen not to do business with, but the ones that we do business with will lock in your rate as of the effective date 12 months in the future. So what does that mean? That means that our customers who call us 6 months before their Part B starts, we could write that today, and lock it in all the way up to the effective date, now it kicks in. Now you've got a 12-month guarantee there. So what that means is you could have an 18-month rate lock on your Medicare supplement plan if we write it 6 months before your Part B starts. 6 months up to the Part B, and you're not paying that whole time. You only pay like once to secure the policy, and then it just stays stagnant until month number 2 is effective, because month number 1 you will have already paid for when we do the application and you're approved. So you're not like paying every month. We just do the application ahead of time. That holds your place, locks it in, and then you can't have another rate increase from 12 months beyond the date that the Part B actually started. So really, that's an 18-month rate lock if we do look at that before you actually turn 65. That's kind of a neat thing. So let's see here what's going on with the folks. I'll try to look at the comments in real time. April is when you turn 65, you put in. Yeah, we can do that now. And for that, let me see if I can zip through here. Let's see. Right here. This is a link, a link list of our most important links that people are using. And that one that's right there that says seniorsavingsnetwork.org/open enrollment. That would be you, because you're going to be brand new to Medicare. So the health questions don't matter. Underwriting doesn't matter because it's not effective for you. You can just simply go right on our calendar, pick the best day and time. I will tell you, as a day of this being live, our calendar's backed up a couple of weeks, but it doesn't matter, because on an open enrollment situation, the application is instantly approved. And in your case, it would be approved for April 1st. So if you have to book it out 2 weeks from now on our calendar because everybody in here is slam full right now, that's okay. It's going to be effective right then. Had a gentleman that I emailed back. I was a little disappointed with him. I guess he was disappointed with us because what he did was, Melanie here spent a lot of time with him, listening to what's important to him, going over what his questions were, answering everything about Medicare. And then she sent him in writing what those rates were that they were talking about, and the recommendation that she made. And then he wrote back and said, well, I'm not going to wait for an appointment with you. I just contacted the carrier directly and signed up with them. That's all well and good, except now you don't have an advocate. You didn't get any discount, did you? It's not cheaper if you go around the agent. It's better to have an advocate that's looking out for you now, help with claims, help with problems, help with service, and help with support. And at the renewal time, that agent reminds you, hey, it's time to look at the market and make sure you still have the best plan, because there's somebody looking out for you. That's what we do, and our cost is absolutely nothing. So if you take our information and then you contact the carrier directly, you're not going to be taken care of affirmatively. They're not going to call you and say, hey, we found something in the market that's going to be better for you at your renewal time. Or say, hey, do you have any problems? And did you get your ID card in time? Did you get everything that you're supposed to? That's what we do with our folks. So if you do decide to work with us, you're going to get more than just an application done with a carrier. It's just a little bit less than stellar in my mind to use our folks' time to answer questions, make a recommendation, put their liability on the line to say, yes, this is the company based on our due diligence, our research, so that you don't have to go get your own license. This is the one that I would put my mom with, or this is the one that I have put my mom with in many cases. And then to take that information and go direct to the carrier. I would hope that more people don't do that, and they typically don't. Let's see. Phil says, me and my wife have qualified coverage now. I'm 68, she's 67, and we qualified for Plan F when we decide to go to Medicare. Let me just clarify a couple of those things, and it's really important. It's worth clarifying. If you have not yet gone on Medicare, Philip, then you're qualified for any plan because you'll be in open enrollment. And again, you could use that link down there and let us help you, but we won't be recommending Plan F. I can guarantee you that. See, left to your own devices, if you pick up that Medicare book, that's right back here, that Medicare book, Medicare and Youth 2022. If you pick up that book, absent some translator that has a license that can be of service to you and help interpret what you're looking at, it would seem that Plan F would be the absolute fantastic, best possible thing you could ever get in your whole life. And, oh, cool, you can get that now. By the same token, if you call somebody in the SHIP office, which is the state help for people on Medicare, and mostly they're volunteers, and God bless them, they're doing a great service. We have some stories this week of how SHIP people have led some people astray that could catastrophically affect their Medicare. I would recommend that you go with a licensed Medicare agent who's been doing it for several years and can not only give you a recommendation, but not leave you out to dry. See, if I write you on a Plan F, that's the highest premium I can possibly write you. And yes, you are eligible for Medicare prior to January 1 of 2020. So you can get Plan F for the rest of your life, but it's never been a good value. In 2015, I made a website and a video called 𝗗𝗲𝗿𝗂𝗍𝗀 and showed the rate differences. Rates on Plan F going through the roof, rates on Plan G remaining steady. Many studies that show why that is, and you can look at it at 𝗗𝗲𝗿𝗂𝗍𝗀. But then in 2018, as MACRA was passed and coming towards implementation in January of 2020, there was a big push toward Plan N as far as rate stability. We were on an insurance carrier trip where they announced that they were going to do actually two, Mutual of Omaha and Aetna, both the leaders of the company said, we see a tremendous underwriting advantage for rate stability on Plan N. Why is that? Because it's going to have less claims on the front end. Catastrophic claims, yeah, they'll always be there. But on the controllables, and that we're on Plan F, there's no deductible, there's no impedance whatsoever to going into the emergency room or treatment over and over for smaller things. A study that Joe Lieberman talked about in Congress when he testified about this long after he was out of office showed that Plan F, and this is one of the reasons why Plan F was done away with for new people to Medicare, had a high level of overutilization just across the board. And that leads to higher and higher rate increases. And that's just one of the factors. I would not recommend Plan F, and I've covered it many times over the years, and you can find out why. I'm happy to reach out to you. Actually, it'd be better if you reached out to us. Wait, pointed the wrong way now. It's backwards. SeniorSavingsNetwork.org/open enrollment, and let us give you a recommendation. If you want Plan F, we're happy to write it for you. I'll just let you know, we'll make more money if we write you on Plan F, and we're not going to advocate for Plan F because it's the wrong thing. And I would tell you that there's not one plan that fits all. There is one plan that doesn't fit anybody. Now, if you're in a couple of locations, very small, finite locations that possibly may affect you in California or in South Florida, Plan F may not be bad, but we can talk about that because everybody in our office knows the difference. There's some highly educated folks up in here that do a great job. Let's see. Valerie said, am I going to have any problems signing up if I haven't had insurance the 2 years prior to getting into Medicare? If you're talking about signing up for a Medicare supplement plan, it is going to go through underwriting if you're not brand new to Part B. Many people, as I just mentioned with Philip, even though he's older than 65, they're brand new to Part B because they've deferred it, having worked longer. And if that's the case, you're great because you're brand new to Part B. So you're treated as just a baby in the Medicare world. You're in initial election period. So you can get any plan. You can get Plan F, you can get Plan G, you can get Plan N, Plan L, Plan K, all the other weird plans that people left to their own devices will go, I'll just pick one from the chart and sign up with that. It's funny. Anytime we run across somebody that's going to Plan L or Plan K, it's because they've gotten a book from a 5-letter agency. And they're like, oh, that looks good. Let me get that one. And they're like the only one in their state that ever signed up with the plan, which is another thing you don't want to do, is be in a very small underwriting risk pool by getting a plan that no one else gets, because you're sharing the risk with like yourself. But I digress. You can get any plan you want if you're in your initial election period, and that means if you're new to Part B. So your age really doesn't matter. It's when you're starting on Part B for whatever reason, that gives you an initial election period. Now, if you want to know what's involved in underwriting, let's say you're not new to Medicare, you can go to this other link here, the first link that I have shown there, and that's called SeniorSavingsNetwork.org/underwritten. Underwritten. I'll go over the health questions, the basic health questions that are found on all the applications, tell you how that process works. There's a form there you can fill out if you have any questions. If you don't know if you'll qualify, or if you think for sure you will qualify, and then you can get on our calendar. It makes it very, very easy. And this has replaced having a 30-minute conversation with our people who are already overwhelmed during the annual enrollment period. to answer the questions that people already have. We just automated it here so you can watch it. And if I talk too fast, which I'm typically accused of doing, you can stop it and play it back. You can slow it down, all those kind of things. But this will explain the underwritten process. If you're not new to Medicare, it's been longer than 6 months since you've started on Part B of Medicare, you can look at your Medicare card and know your Part B start date's listed right there. If it's been longer than 6 months, then you'll need to go through an underwritten process unless you live in a couple of states out there. And we can go through that with you too, because there's a map right on that page and it'll tell you what's involved. Let me talk about pre-existing conditions for just a minute. Let's say you do get approved through underwriting and you're going to a new carrier. You've already had one in the past. As long as you have had consistent coverage from the last company into the new company, there are no pre-existing condition limitations or exclusions whatsoever. Once you're approved at company 2, and this is a big fallacy about Medicare supplements, you can change a Medicare supplement all year long. We've had people change a Medicare supplement 4 times in 1 year. As long as you can qualify, you can do that. Absolutely. Why would you want to? I don't know if you had a good agent that came to you in the first place and put you in the right place. But if you wanted to, you can change a Medicare supplement over and over and over. There is no open enrollment period for you. Certain states have a birthday rule or a policy anniversary rule, and we can share those with you. Actually, they're covered on that page, the underwritten page, to see if it affects you at all. But once they accept you, they got you. They're covering absolutely everything if there was no break in coverage of more than 62 days from the last time you had coverage. Now, what we want to do if you're going from one carrier to another, and if you watch the last live stream, I covered many instances where our people, let me show you a couple, saved folks a tremendous amount of money from going from, like Alexis saved this person from going from $153 a month, now paying $87 a month, saving $65 a month. Here's one where Brooke saved a lady $99.57. So in these cases where they're going from one plan to another, once the new plan takes you and you had no break in coverage, no lapse in coverage, you're coming from something else. That can be an individual plan. That can be a group plan or another Medicare plan. Then there is no pre-existing condition. It is seamless coverage from one plan to another. And that's a very common question that we do get. If you had a follow-up, I'll probably see it as I scroll down here. Is there behind-the-scenes insurance ratings of carriers who mostly reject Medicare Advantage claims? Can't afford original Medicare because I'm 54 and the rates are horrible. Are the star ratings subjective? Yes, they're very subjective. There was a big controversy last year when CMS was allowed to take out denied claims. And you should look at the OIG investigation at allaboutmedicareadvantage.com, allaboutmedicareadvantage.com. You'll see the investigation. And since then, the controversy is these companies are rejecting claims. They're denying care. They're not giving the prior authorization. They're not giving the referrals in some cases. And how does that impact their star rating? Because that does go toward customer service. Their industry lobby got those things extracted out of the star rating. So is that a good guide? Maybe not. You have to look at what is in the star rating. You'll see some fancy language that's approved by all the lobbyists in the Medicare and You guidebook. But I'm here to tell you, if you look close enough in your Google search, the star ratings were under great controversy last year, and that's just part of it. The other thing that you touch on here, Barry, is that you're 54 years old. It depends on what state you're in as to what plan you could qualify for. That is a state decision. So in your state, if you have, like the state of South Carolina, for instance, has no provision whatsoever for someone on Medicare due to disability, just none. So you're stuck with a Medicare Advantage plan. We know that in our office, and we route you accordingly based on what state you're in and how you got on Medicare and when. We can help you with that. So if you're already on a Medicare Advantage plan, no matter what your age, this time during October 15th through December 7th, you can change your plan for January. And another period starts January 1 to March 31, the disenrollment period, the changing period where you can change back and forth. And I've got that on another slide I'll show you in a minute. But in many states, now I know Pennsylvania is one of the best of the best. They've got rules in place in Pennsylvania that the same rate that you're paying at 65, you're going to pay that at 60 or 59 or 54. That's awesome. They're taking care of people there because of the laws in the state of Pennsylvania. But in some states, they'll let you get a Medicare supplement, but they tell the insurance companies they can charge you as if you're 99 years old. So they can charge you $300-$400 a month for the same plan that a 65-year-old would get for $70 or $80 a month. That just depends on your state. We know what those states are. There's actually a list of them and resources and an explanation at MedicareOnDisability.com. I encourage you to check that out, Barry. And sometimes we have to make the best of a bad situation, and that's what we can do in this case, because we know what we're looking for when you're on Medicare due to disability. That's why I made that site there. Let's see. Somebody is asking or putting in here, Richard, the website for looking at drug plans. If you're looking for that, it is, go backwards, got a new mouse because the other one didn't work. StartPartD.com to look at your drug plans if you want to do that during the annual enrollment period. We've had a lot of people look at that already, find it very simple, and they're able to pick a drug plan, enroll right on there, and get it ready for January 1st. Now, just a little caveat there. If you looked at a drug plan, then you talk to your neighbor and the neighbor said, yeah, but did you hear about this, about that company, or this is the other company, and you want to change your mind, unless you're brand new to Medicare, which has a weird rule, you only got one shot at it. If you've been on Medicare and this is just your annual period for you to change your plan for January, you can change your drug plan selection over and over and over and over. The last one that was submitted as of December 7th, my birthday, Pearl Harbor Day, midnight, the last one in is the one that goes into effect in January. So if you've made a selection and you said, oh my gosh, I goofed, I didn't want that company, I learned something new about them or whatever, or I like another company, simply go back to startpartd.com. And you could even skip at that point, entering all your drugs and all that kind of stuff, and just go to the plan that you want and you can enroll. It takes about 5 minutes. Very, very easy. Let's see. Howard, one of our agents, wrote a thing in here. Let's see, retirement government worker. Let's see. Do I need 2 letters from my employer when I leave work and start Part B Medicare after age 65 that say I've both qualifying covered? That's an interesting development and an interesting change. If you want to see what they are and the latest, go to howtostartmedicare.com. There's a tab there, or one of the columns, that talks about leaving the employer plan and what proof is required. During COVID, there was a change with Medicare about that. And they no longer require a specific letter from the employer or even the in-person signature from the employer on that form for Part B. You could actually show them a statement that showed that you were paying for benefits. You can show them an ID card that says that you had coverage. You can show them your policy that showed the effective dates. You can show them a bank draft, I believe, of when the premiums were coming out for that. There are a lot more ways that you can skin that cat since COVID started, and many employers are just not seeing people face-to-face, or at least they were. So I would try those things first, but I would try it electronically, doing it ssa.gov to apply for it. But it's gotten a lot easier than 2 letters from the employer. And a letter has never been really required. Just a signature from them showing what your effective dates of your group coverage were. That would work. Bill says, I don't see other Medicare guys, and there's some great women on there too, answering questions on YouTube Live. It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky because you don't know what the questions are going to be. Betty Boop again said, should I start looking at Medigap and such now? Yes, because you said you're in April. I would definitely look now and lock that in, because then you're looking at the next quarter where the rates could possibly go up. And even if it's 50 cents, that means a lot to me with somebody on a fixed income. So whatever you could lock in now, yes, I would lock that in now. SeniorSavingsNetwork.org/open enrollment. Let us look at that for you right there. Let's see. Yeah, so Phil, I know you would qualify, like I said, for Plan F. I wouldn't go there. I would just look at our open enrollment link, get on our calendar, and let us show you all the plans and explain why. Corey says, I'm confused. Do some supplement plans have Part D included? No, they do not. No. The different parts of Medicare are Part A, hospital, Part B, outpatient, Part D, drug plan, and never the twain shall match or collide. Then they said, oh, let's be cute about it and call Medicare Advantage, which does not have the same benefits of A, B, or D. D it does, because that's part of Medicare Advantage. But they said C will be like all of it, all inclusive. It's everything. Okay, sure, whatever. But No, the real part of Medicare, where you don't need prior authorization, you don't need referrals, you can go to any doctor in the country and any hospital in the country that accepts Medicare. Those do not have, an original Medicare does not have drug plan included for free. There was 2 versions of Plan J Medicare Supplement way back in the day. And one of the 2 versions of Plan J did have drug coverage in it, but that was eliminated in 2006 when the first President Bush signed the Part D law into effect. Do you help anyone anywhere in the United States? Yes, you can see our map, and we're all over the country. We're in 46 states. We don't do Alaska, Hawaii, Grenada, Puerto Rico, Guam, some weird outlying areas. If I'm not in my IEP, what pre-existing conditions would typically be denied for underwriting? I go through those exactly right there where it says seniorsavingsnetwork.org/underwritten. I'll go through exactly what those things are. Okay, let's see. What if one doesn't want to get involved in neither Advantage or Supplement, only remains with A and B? Your exposure there is unlimited. That's the problem. So yeah, you're on original Medicare. You've got the freedom, the flexibility to go anywhere. You're not on a network-based plan where they get to decide the level of treatment and what's covered. The detriment to that is on Part B, which more and more of everything, including knee replacements even, being done outpatient nowadays. And so you're going to get 20% of that outpatient stuff bill with no maximum out of pocket, no limit to it whatsoever. And that can be financially devastating unless you've got big pockets and you got money in the bank to take care of that. Or if you stay super healthy and never ever go to the doctor. Please confirm the best way to contact us. If you go to seniorsavingsnetwork.org, at the top, it's got Contact Us, Medicare Help. You can see our videos. You can see all of how to contact us. You can't miss it at our website. If not many doctor visits, switch to Plan N, way cheaper. Yeah, a lot of our clients have found that out. Meta says, turning 65 in December, but still working. Should I sign up for Part A, but want to defer B? How do you do that and when to start Part B? You can sign up for Part A also on ssa.gov. Good idea to do it. It's expected that you're going to be doing it, even if you're going to be on a large group plan. We're assuming now, for the sake of argument, that you're on a large group plan. That is an employer that has more than 20 lives. If you're not, quick caveat, if you're on a small group or it's your own company or you have less than 20 employees in your company, you'd better start Part B. You have to. Why? Because all the small group carriers expect that you're going to have Part B and Part A as primary. That's your benefit. Your group plan is only secondary. So they expect Medicare to do its part to pull its load in a small group health plan still. So you have to have it. If you don't have it, that small group plan is not covering you and giving you cover to skip Part B. So if you get 8 months out, 9 months out, 10 months out, then you've been a year without Part B, and then you decide to get it later, 2 things happen. One, you can't get it right away. You have to wait for the general enrollment period for Part B, and that's not when you expect that you just want to have it. If you didn't have Part B and you should have gotten it when you were first eligible for Medicare at the age of 65, you're going to have to wait for the general enrollment period, which is once per year. At the beginning of the year you sign up for it, then it kicks in on July 1, and then here's the worst part. You have a 10% per year penalty for the rest of your life on your Part B premium. So it's your Part B premium, which just went to $170.10 as a base rate. That's not if you're a high income earner. $170.10 plus 10%, $17 for every year that you did not have coverage. That could be huge, and you don't want that to happen. So if you're on a small group, you better start Part B and get going on that now, especially for December. Oh my goodness, you got to get that going now. How to start Medicare.com. If you're going to defer, just go ahead and start Part A because they expect it to be there anyway. You've already earned it. Doesn't have a cost to it. It's going to take care of your hospitalization, that kind of thing. And it's going to be expected to be part of your group plan anyway. And yeah, you can defer Part B. No problem at all. Defer Part B until you plan on leaving the full-time employment. Bill says, I love my Plan N. That's awesome. Are people covered if they refuse the vaccine? Yes, they would not try that because the senior voting bloc would have their heads on a stick. For someone who is out of the U.S. for most of the year, what option is preferred? I would say if you want full coverage, then I would get a Plan N Medicare Supplement because it's the best middle of the road plan. It does have out of country emergency care coverage there. And then when you come back in the country, you never have to requalify for anything again. If you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, typically you're not going to have any coverage whatsoever outside the country. If you're on original Medicare only, you're not going to have coverage outside the country. So for that reason, I would have at least a Plan N. Can I go from Plan F, not the high deductible version, to Plan G, which is the same except for the deductible and somewhat lower premium without underwriting? I'm 74 on A and B. Tony, that depends on what state you're in. In many states you can. California, Oregon, Washington, New York, Missouri on your birthday rule. It depends, and soon to be Illinois, Nevada, and Idaho as well. So a lot of more states are adopting this guarantee issue, open enrollment, birthday rule, or anniversary rule thing. We've got those covered at that website that's right up there listed called seniorsavingsnetwork.org/underwritten. Tells you what's involved in changing your plans based on your state. You can hover over the live map there and it'll tell you what's involved in changing the plans. Then under the map, you click on your state and you can get on our calendar. But watch the video first as I explain that in great detail. It's a question we get all day long. Now we're trying to let people see we've got that solution there 24/7. You can see. Set your appointment to talk to us. That was quick. Thanks, Betty. Is it pay me now or pay me later? Medigap versus Advantage plan. Sometimes that's very much the case, especially if you run into problems. I don't know many people who, I'm sure there are some, between the age of 65 to 70, get healthier and healthier and fit and more healthy. Typically, our age, our warranties start to decline. And when that happens, things start to go wrong. And that's when the latest part in life and the utilization of medical costs is higher than it's ever been. My friend Matthew made this point the other day on YouTube, and it bears repeating. It's absolutely true. The biggest mistake that we've seen people make repeatedly year after year, and we hear this every day, I'm coming on to Medicare. I just need the most minimal coverage because I've been healthy for 64 years. For 64 years, I've been healthy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and project that out for the rest of my life. I'm going to be healthy for the rest of my life too. Big mistake. You either want real full coverage where you can do what your doctor says you can do, or you want to limit that, give up the control of your medical decisions to an HMO that's a for-profit place. That's your choice. And everybody's going to make their own choice for that. Pay me now, pay me later. How do you pay for Medicare Part A if you aren't getting Social Security yet? Very good question. You don't pay for Part A. Part A is, I don't want to say free because it's not free. You've earned it. As long as you've paid into the system by working 10 quarters or more, that's parts of the year as in quarters, not 50 or 25 cents. What is a quarter? If you've worked for 10 quarters or more, or the 40 quarters, 10 years, gosh, then Part A is no cost to you because you've earned it. You've earned it. Now, the answer to the biggest question is, how do you pay for Part B if you're not drawing Social Security yet? Two things to realize here. If you're paying for Part B, because a lot of people are, and you've not yet drawn Social Security, you're going to get a statement from them wanting 3 months of that up front. And every 3 months, they're going to want you to pay with a statement. We always encourage people, please go to mymedicare.gov and sign up for monthly bank draft so you don't lose that critical coverage. Then you're back in the boat we talked about before. You have to get on Part B again, wait a whole year. And then if it's been a whole 12 months, you're going to get that penalty for the rest of your life. And worse, you have no coverage for that period that you're not covered. So I would highly encourage everybody to get on monthly bank draft for your Part B, if you're not drawing Social Security, and for your Medicare supplement premium. Make sure you don't have an interruption in that. And with the U.S. mail nowadays, you never know if you're going to miss a statement or they're going to miss your check. I am your customer. We are on free Obamacare. Now our N and Part B and D cost $600 a month. We really cannot afford $7,000 a year. We run from doctors, have not seen a doctor for years. Okay, Gary, I don't know if there's a question in there. Wait a minute. Here it is. Question. As we don't go to doctors, could we find better coverage for us? Better is a relative term depending on your utilization. But yes, that's most likely a case. If you're never going to go, never have gone, then you might want to look at a high deductible plan G, depending on your state and your area. We would want to look at that because everything's unique. And I can't look you up on my system right now because I don't want to take the risk of it going public and everyone seeing that. But yeah, we need to see that. You weren't on the free Obamacare. It's subsidized highly by taxpayers. But I get your point. Dale says, own Plan N and love it. You're the only one that ever left me educated. That's awesome. Let's see. Let's see if we can get some other ones in here. What did I miss? Okay, let me go back through a couple of things that we've been saying. And I'll pull up the questions that you've been submitting through that little website right there called seniorsavingsnetwork.org/questions. Uppercase, lowercase, doesn't really matter. But I want to share with you a couple of things that we've been getting in here over the last month or so. I've been accumulating these things. I'll just save them on my phone and drag them in there. This is one of our agents, a super sharp guy. Been working with him for a while. He wrote to me the other day on our agent portal over at MedicareAgentTraining.com, where we've been training agents on what we do since 2012. Stuart said, I am a Medicare recipient now. Welcome to Medicare. Woo! As an agent. As a result of my enrollment in SilverScript, I just received a call from an Aetna affiliated Indian boiler room. I was transferred to an agent employed by Aetna, who then started to run the Medicare Advantage game on me. So we covered this on our update, which we have sent repeatedly to all of our existing clients at seniorsavingsnetwork.org. And if you look at the top there, it's flashing like, here's the update. But if you want to skip right to it, seniorsavingsnetwork.org/update. I put this out every year, and we have to repeat this. If you signed up for a drug plan this year with anybody, and that company that you signed up with also sells a Medicare Advantage plan, please expect an upsell phone call sales pitch. And they may put it as, hey, we're just checking on you and make sure everything's fine. And then somehow it leads into, and again, these people are in India. That was a good call. That's really where they are. Hey, I see that you're paying a premium for your Part D plan. Did you know we have an all-in-one comprehensive, everything built in, throw in this kitchen sink plan, and there is no premium for that? It's free. Let me transfer you to a sales agent right now. Sales agent gets on the phone and says, hey, we have an existing business relationship. I don't even need a scope of appointment. Let me jump into the summary of benefits real quick. Just skim the surface, not talk about prior authorizations, referrals, must pick a primary care doctor. What they deny does not get paid and does not go toward your max out of pocket. And by the way, just tell me the word over the phone. Let me just hear your voice say, I agree. Boom, you're done. You're off of original Medicare for who decides what healthcare you get. You're on a private managed healthcare plan. Your Part D is just an off-the-shelf, prepackaged in there Part D plan, not one that's customized for your specific list of drugs. In most cases, you also have to pick a primary care doctor and stick with them unless they don't stick with you and they leave the health plan during the middle of the year, which often happens, or your hospital network that you say, I must have this hospital network, or they leave that plan. Everything changes, but you don't know it because you're getting a call that says, hey, I've got a benefit for you. Let's get you off that Part D plan and give you a comprehensive plan. That sales pitch is happening right now, tens of thousands of times a day from all the companies that sell Medicare Advantage. So, Stuart, thanks for reminding me to remind our people. This comment was 3 months ago. I saved it. I'm so sad that I was lied to when applying for Medicare. I did not know that going to a Medicare Advantage plan would take me off Medicare. The information I got was from the Medicare site. Oh, surprise, surprise. If you go to the Medicare site, medicare.gov, it's going to say, pick your plan. It's the time to pick your plan. Nothing else is going on except this is the time to pick your plan. Really? If I have a Medicare supplement, what do I do? Oh, no, you need to go get a Medicare plan. When the government says plan, that means the plan to get you off of original Medicare, get you over on their plan. Let them take care of you. The information I got was from the Medicare site. Now I have breast cancer. I'm not sure if I would qualify for a supplement. I am trying to do this all alone. Husband had a mild stroke in February. He too is on Humana. I will tell you this. If you're within your first year and you've never been on a Medicare Advantage plan before, this was the first time that you're on a Medicare Advantage plan. And if you gave up a Medicare supplement or the Medicare Advantage plan was the first thing that you selected when you were first eligible for Medicare Part A, if those things apply to you, and Medicare can tell you, you can utilize your, what I call the ripcord. You can pull your ejection seat and you can get into trial right and then go get a Medicare supplement plan. No underwriting whatsoever. Let me cover that again real quick. When you're brand new to Medicare, you started Part A on June 1st. And on June 1st is when you signed up for your Medicare Advantage plan for the first time. And it's within 12 months, you can get off that plan and go do a redo of your initial election period, which means you can pick a Plan F, Plan G, Plan N, high deductible Plan G, any plan that you're eligible for, you can pick as if you're brand new to Medicare again. You get a redo if you do the trial right. The second version of trial right is you're just happy going along. You had a Medicare supplement the whole time. You give up your Medicare supplement for one time and you get an Advantage plan. You're still within your first year of trying out an Advantage plan. You can pull the ejection handle, get back onto your original Medicare supplement if it's still available. If it's not available, you have guarantee issue, not open enrollment. Interesting change there. You have guarantee issue to get a guarantee issue Medicare supplement. What that means is your option, if you were eligible for Medicare prior to January 1, 2020, Plan F is your guarantee issue recipient. If you're on eligible for Medicare or on Medicare after January 1, 2020. Too much coffee, Nicole. Then your go-to guarantee issue rider is going to be Plan G. Either way, it's better than being stuck on an Advantage plan of any color while you have full-blown cancer. This is something that is a nice little warning there. And if you have not yet submitted your question, please do it in the live chat right now so I can see it here in just a second, or submit it over at seniorsavingsnetwork.org/questions. This lady commented on YouTube recently, I was fished from one of your great seminars, videos on YouTube. I read a message telling me to call an insurance company direct. I thought that was from you. We don't message anybody telling them to call us directly with anything. We just give our website where you can see it's secure. And we don't call anybody to try to solicit them at all. So if you get a call from somebody saying, I'm calling from the Senior Savings Network, do you want to review your plan? That ain't us. We're not cold calling anyone out there. Lots of agents have gotten in trouble for using our name and even spoofing our caller ID. It's a problem. It comes with the profile, I guess. I called and was not at all convinced that you sent me that message. Good. Your spidey sense went off. I canceled that application and that agent with that agent. Now I'm afraid it's too late for me at this busy time to start over. A lovely lady from your office contacted me immediately and will do my application soon. Note, contacted after you contacted us, which is awesome, Ms. Roth. I just hope there's enough time till 12/7. I went off my PPO after 20 years of it. Here's hoping to be part of your group. That is very sweet. This is what you can do during the next period. I pulled this the other day to send to a client who was asking about it while I was driving down the road. Probably should have done that. But anyway, this is a screenshot. What can you do during what they call the open enrollment period, which is not now. This is the annual enrollment period, which is October 15th through December 7th. The OEP period, which is what I call the disenrollment period, starts January 1 through March 31. This is another time where if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, you can get off that plan or you can switch to another Medicare Advantage plan. So this is from the Medicare website. It says you can either switch Medicare Advantage plans, drop your Advantage plan and return to your original Medicare. Don't do that without talking to us first. We've had people do this every year. They'll drop their Medicare Advantage plan, call in here and say, okay, I'm ready for a supplement. Let's go get a supplement. I dropped my Medicare Advantage plan. We don't want to do that. We want to first get approved at the supplement first, then and only then we'll drop your Medicare Advantage plan. A little inside knowledge here. I don't want to get too much in the weeds, but if this is you, if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan and you wish to go back to original Medicare and get a supplement during this next period of time, which is January 1 through March 31, the process is we apply for a supplement plan, Plan G or Plan N. We get approval over there. Then we help you get a drug plan, a Part D standalone drug plan. That will all take effect the next month. So if we do this in January, then on February 1, your drug plan starts. When your drug plan starts, it automatically wipes out your Advantage plan. Because with Medicare in Washington, you can have one or the other. You can either have a drug plan standalone, or you can have a Medicare Advantage Part D plan altogether, but you can't have both. So the last one that's in is going to wipe out the other one automatically. Or like it says down here, a standalone drug plan if you dropped an Advantage plan. We want to add one layer of that, not leave you exposed to that 20% of the unknown out-of-pocket cost. We want you to have a supplement. If you go to our website, which is seniorsavingsnetwork.org, actually it's way up there at the top of the page. At the top, it says Medicare Help. When you click that, one of the green boxes is I want to go from Advantage to a supplement. It explains this process, and you can pause it and go over it slowly rather than now this is from an agent that I really respect in the industry. I hope she doesn't get mad that I'm sharing it. It needs to be shared with more people. And she writes, and this was on Facebook, it's a real shame that there are a lot of untrained agents out there passing Medicare Advantage zero premium as a savings to someone off of Medicare Supplement, when an Advantage plan often has higher max out-of-pockets. They're in Georgia where she is at $7,550 max out-of-pocket. But the agents are saying, it's a savings. You know, put that money in the bank. Just pay zero premium. Everything else is the same. It's an absolute lie. But that's what these agents, that's all they know. Max out of pocket, prior authorizations, and doesn't cover 100 days in a skilled nursing facility or 20% of the Part B drugs. What? My agent didn't tell me that. And it's a fine time to figure that out when you need a Part B drug. What are we talking about? You get cancer, or you have an immunosuppressant drug that you need after a transplant, for instance, or you're doing the oral chemotherapy, which are more and more being moved into Part D. But this is often administered in the doctor's office. So you're getting an infusion of something. Those infusions, Part B drugs, which would normally be Part B, if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, they'll tell you you're responsible for 20% of the coverage. Wait a minute. How am I responsible for 20% of the coverage if I've got an Advantage plan that's supposed to be covering this just like a supplement? It doesn't. Look at the summary of benefits and look very carefully on your plan. Is 100 days covered in a skilled nursing facility on your Medicare Advantage plan? If you don't know that and you signed up for one, you're wrong. You have to know this stuff. What is skilled nursing? That's when you're in a continual improving state following an admission to the hospital where you need ongoing treatment to continue to get better. It's not long-term care. It's not custodial care of just monitoring you. It's where you're continuing to see improvement in skilled nursing care. It's covered by Original Medicare. No problem. It's covered by your Medicare Supplement. No problem. On Medicare Advantage, two things to look for. Is it covered out for 100 days? And if so, what's that going to cost you? And where's the facility, by the way? If I need skilled nursing on this Medicare Advantage plan, what facility can I use? If I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, and you're going to tell me that my nearest participating facility for the state on my Medicare Advantage HMO is in Columbia, South Carolina, an hour and a half away, that ain't good for me. And if my mom had to go there and have to drive an hour and a half to see her all the time, that's not good for her either. So this is one of the small caveats that an experienced agent like this one brings about because she went through this personally. So the agents that are out there saying, oh, the Advantage is the exact same thing as the supplement. No big deal. Put the money in your cookie jar. You'll be fine. Did they go over this? Did they go over the prior authorizations and how they're denied routinely? Did they go over the skilled nursing difference between this and a Medicare supplement? Guarantee you they didn't. I guarantee you they did not. Or the 20% of Part B drugs that you have. You have to look very carefully in your summary of benefits to find that. Let me go back to our thing here. This shouldn't be a normal sales pitch. The older someone is, the more likely they'll have a fall and need skilled nursing facility. If someone can financially afford a supplement, you should try to rewrite the supplement if it's too unaffordable, is what she's saying. Not say, hey, I can save you $200 a month by moving to this Advantage plan, and hide that if they fall off that ladder hanging Christmas lights, that they're going to regret that decision. My biological grandmother was 100% kicked out of a skilled nursing facility at 20 days because, and I won't mention the Advantage plan company here, they didn't approve any more time. Managed care manages your care, which often comes into pain management and misery if it's not approved. And you need round-the-clock care. If it's not approved, it's not covered. And if you want to go cover it out of your pocket, that's fine, but you're not going to get the Medicare discount because you're not on it. And you're going to have to pay out of pocket, which does not go toward that wonderful, magical thing that all the salesmen say all the time is the best part about Medicare Advantage. It's got a max out of pocket. Yeah, it seems like it's high. You'll never, ever hit that. Put some money in a drawer, in a cookie jar. And if you ever need that once in a lifetime, you're never going to hit that. Guess what? If you are denied care and you and your family decide that's the care that you need because your doctor says, I'm sorry, I'm sorry that the managed care plan just won't cover it, and you decide to go do it anyway, it does not go towards that max out of pocket. And remember, that max out of pocket resets in 45 days. We come into January 1, boom, it's going to reset again, which means on this plan, you'd be $7,550 plus $7,550. My math is not that good, which is I don't want to cause any aspersions toward my math teacher, who's now going to be one of our clients. I'm so excited. She called in the other day. So excited. My math teacher from high school. It was just me. I was a bad student. Question of the day. This is from one of our clients that wrote this in. Oh, this is Robert answering one of our clients. He said, that's a quarterly bill that you've received, the Part B of Medicare premium. This is months ago. And they will send you a quarterly bill unless you manually set up monthly payment options such as direct draft. And that's what you should really do. And somebody might wonder, how am I seeing this? I see all the emails that come in or out of here. And that's why I'm up 16 hours a day reading emails. Because if something's wonky or somebody needs some help, I want to jump in there and help them. And I do my best to do that. I'm not perfect by any means. This is from LC. And he says, unbelievable. How horrible. I agree. I was pushed Medicare Advantage from every agent. Oh, let me just share with you one little thing that you may have heard. I have this website called MedicareAgentTraining.com. And where's my little thing here? Somewhere we've got the thing working. Anyway, MedicareAgentTraining.com. And on that, we show how we can help seniors by helping them with Medicare. And anytime there's a new update on Medicare, we put it on MedicareAgentTraining.com. We have weekly meetings with our staff in here, and we put those weekly meetings out there so that everybody can see them. And it never fails. We always have agents join MedicareAgentTraining.com, and they always book a video conference with me, which they're invited to once they become a member of the site. Without fail, every single week, I get another agent that joins and says, I came into the industry because I wanted to help people, but the agency that recruited me, typically from Monster.com or Craigslist or one of those online job services, they told me I'd make all this money, but they only trained me on Medicare Advantage. Why is that? And they'll say, I never learned that Medicare supplements are even a thing until they came to my website. What? Or if they see something in the Medicare and You guidebook and they go to Google and they search it, they'll come up with our training site, Medicare Agent Training. Like, how are they going to get training on supplements too? The reason why is because the huge amount of overrides on Medicare Advantage to the agents are just freaking massive. Hundreds of dollars I would make if my sub-agent goes and writes somebody in Peoria, Illinois. The overrides to the agency are massive. And that answers the question, which all these agents always say, why didn't they train me on supplements? If we're out here trying to help people, why didn't they train me about supplements? So you may have encountered an agent who never once mentioned to you that Medicare supplements even exist, and it's not just an outlier. That is a common problem in our industry right now. All they're trained to do is give away things for, quote, free and get your signature on a piece of paper. And then the biggest challenge with them is like, and they always say this, how do you tell a senior that they're going to have to pay for something that they can get for free from the government? Well, that is a twisted mindset, because sometimes the younger generation just doesn't know that sometimes you get what you pay for. And if something has a premium attached to it, when your literal life and health and misery or well-being is at stake, it might be worth the small premium to know that you have quality care, that you and your doctor decide what you're going to get as far as care. And if you want to go to Cedars-Sinai, you want to go to Johns Hopkins, you want to go to the Mayo Clinic, you got a supplement, go. MD Anderson for cancer treatment, no problem. Best thing in the country for your treatment for what ails you, you can go on a supplement. You don't have to call and say, is this in your network? Do y'all accept our measly reimbursement for the HMO that's in your network? I'll say, no, sorry, bud, you should have been on a supplement. Or you can pay out of pocket if you want. Gosh, I get off on a tangent, sorry. So LC said that every Medicare agent was only pushing Advantage. Hospitals, insurance companies. Thank God I stumbled on Senior Savings Network and Christopher Westfall. Watch the videos Christopher puts out and get educated. Then call Christopher and set up an appointment. It will cost you nothing, which is true. Our service is free. Just a phone call. One of the agents will work with you. All are knowledgeable and are there to help you. I will begin my Medicare insurance 11/1, which he already has. That's awesome. I have original Medicare with a supplement and Part D drug plan worth every cent. My heart is breaking for all on Medicare Advantage. It's just bad if you know and you see constantly, if you go and interview agents and say, hey, what do you recommend? What do you recommend? What do you recommend? And it's all nothing but one side of the coin. And are Medicare Advantage plans good for people? Some people, yes, absolutely. But if they never show you the alternative, then what good are they when your whole life could depend on it? That's all I'm saying. This is just a community advisement here. This is something that somebody posted. Red alert, just got a call from one of my Medicare clients who said she got a call from, this is from an agent who posted on Facebook. She got a call from, quote, Medicare. They offered to send her a swab that she could use on the inside of her cheek to check for heart disease. It would come by FedEx. Her Medicare number was read off to her and she confirmed it. That's what the scammers can get now. You can pay enough money on the black market and get, what do they call it? The something web, the dark web. That's it. And you can get somebody's Medicare number. All you need is their authorization to use it and confirmation that it is theirs. She asked the person on the phone, are you really from Medicare? The client said. She was told yes. As more questions kept coming up, the call got transferred to a supervisor who said no, they were simply contracted with Medicare. This to provide like durable medical equipment and so forth. This client has a Medicare supplement and drug plan. I told her to write up everything that included the date and time, phone number, and final person, and they're going to report it to medicare.gov/fraud. Medicare fraud is a big, big problem. And this is someone copied this and put this on Facebook, copied from the AHIP training, which is required training that all of us who sell or licensed to sell Medicare Advantage or Part D drug plans have to go through this certification every single year. And this person copied this right from the training from last year. Quote, Medicare Advantage plans may implement mechanisms to manage the utilization of covered services that do not apply under original Medicare. Wait a minute. My agent told me that Medicare Advantage covers everything that Part A and Part B cover. Bull honky. This is from our training. This is from what we have to certify with every year. And it's right here in black and white. Quote, Medicare Advantage plans may implement mechanisms to manage the utilization. Means you may get it, you may not. We may throttle it back from what your doctor says. We got a guideline to save money of covered services that do not apply on original Medicare. Guess when, trivia question, guess when a Medicare supplement makes a decision on what's covered or not? They don't. They don't. Who makes the healthcare coverage decision on a Medicare supplement plan? Your doctor does. If Medicare covered it, the supplement covers it. If Medicare covered it, Aetna supplement would cover it, Mutual supplement would cover it, Cigna supplement would cover it, Manhattan Life supplement would cover it. Every one of them out there does the same thing. They cover it automatically if original Medicare said, yes, that's a good claim. So if your doctor decided that it's medically necessary and it's within Medicare protocols of that's what we cover, it's just something we cover, it's automatically covered, as opposed to prior authorization and management of utilization here. Let me finish the quote. Such mechanisms include requiring referral or prior authorization to obtain a service. So the feds allow Medicare Advantage to deny medical services, then they're surprised when they do. Yeah. Oh, quick break time. Water break. Everybody get a drink. If you've not yet done so, please subscribe to our channel and give it a like on the thumbs up thing. It really means a lot to us. I really appreciate it if you would. And please share our YouTube channel with somebody else. If you want to send them a message on a text message or you want to send them an email about it, you can absolutely do that very easily if you put this in, and I'm known for my links. I know. SeniorSavingsNetwork.org/YouTube. Simple. And it'll skip all the gobbledygook of YouTube and get you right there to the channel. And to find out about live streams that we're doing and things that are breaking news that might impact you or someone you love that's on Medicare, please hit that notification bell. That's the little bell thing that's right next to subscribe. It might give you information that'll help somebody. How did this get in there? I did not put that. Did somebody put this in here? This is supposed to be secret. What is this? Oh, this is the announcement of the increase in commissions that agents are paid when they sign you up on on a Medicare Advantage plan, and you take you off of original Medicare. Yeah, baby. So let's say that you're in California or New Jersey. Your agent, when they get you off of original Medicare and Medicare Advantage, is now going to take your healthcare decisions and make them for you. Look right there at California, New Jersey. Last year, we only made $672 when we signed you up on a Medicare Advantage plan for the first time. This is why there's such a huge push to put William Shatner and Sarah Palin and J.J. Walker and every other person known to man on television and pay them gobs of money to talk about stuff they have no idea what. They're just reading a script. I will say Bill Shatner, who I loved in Star Trek, did probably the best job of reading the script because he's got personality still. Even at, was he 90 something years old? My gosh, he's awesome. But shouldn't have fallen for this junk. Now I'll make $715. That's a lot of money, people. That's way more than double that I would make if I wrote a Plan N Medicare Supplement. Way more. Way more. Had a person, maybe not yesterday, but 2 days ago, wrote a Medicare Supplement Plan N for $70 a month, right? $70 a month. Let me bring up my calculator. I'm telling you, I'm not good at math, but it's not her fault. $70 a month is her Plan N premium just starting off, right, on Medicare, times, let's say, 22% interest. I'm sorry, interest. That's commission. It's already built into the rate. So if you go to the carrier, they just keep this. If you go through an agent, the agent keeps this. And that's why they're incentivized to service you and take care of you throughout the year. So my commission on this supplement plan that I wrote this person is $15.40 per month. I multiply that times the whole year. I make $184 on a person new to Medicare, paying a rate that's around $70 a month when they're brand new, 65. I know that's a low rate. We're comparing apples to apples here. Somebody's brand new to Medicare. If that person's in California, New Jersey, I make $715. But if they go to Chris and get a Medicare supplement, Chris makes $184.80. I mean, yeah, the distinction is not so bad. Now, this is drug plans down here on the bottom. But let's say they live in Pennsylvania, big state for Medicare, number 3 in the country for Medicare people. $646 is a heck of a lot bigger an incentive than $185, $186. Let's say they're paying $90 a month and I'm paying, let's do that. If it's a higher state, $90 a month. $237. Woo! I'm getting paid $237 for that person. Now, for those of you considering getting into our business, go to MedicareAgentTraining.com, where I've trained thousands of agents over the years. But I digress. This number is locked in for the first year. So if the client gets a rate increase of 2% next year, we as agents don't get that. If they get a rate increase, let's say I put somebody on Plan F and they get a 15% rate increase, or I put somebody on a Plan G and they're getting a 12% average rate increase right now. We don't participate in the rate increase. Only the insurance company does. So just get that out of the chute. But Medicare Advantage is a flat rate. If it's a PPO, if it's an MSA, if it's an HMO, POS, whatever the Medicare Advantage plan is, they're getting paid, the agent's getting paid this rate. Now, here's a little shocker for you. The commission's really way higher than this. Why? There are different levels of, man, I'm getting in the weeds, but I just want to share with you something that I swear to you, no one ever has shared this on the internet. I'll probably get in trouble for this. So this may not appear in the final version of this video if I'm told to take this out, but it's publicly available. You know how I found this? Type into Google, maximum Medicare broker commissions for 2022 Medicare Advantage. You will see the same thing. That's how I found this 15 minutes before we went live. It's public information. It's all available from CMS because they decide what the commissions are. So where was I going with this? I just want you to know what's behind the scenes, where the incentives. Oh, the override. So because I'm not just a starting agent, right? When you're a starting agent, you don't have any agents underneath you. You don't have any clients underneath you, and you start off at what they call street level. This is street level. This is for a brand new agent. As you get bigger, you become MGA, SGA, FMO. These are different levels for rank. Like in the military, you're a nobody, then you're a corporal, then you're a sergeant, and you can go to OCS and become a lieutenant and all that stuff. As you progress in the insurance world, When you have hundreds and then thousands of agents under you, you get higher levels of commission. So I have FMO level contracts, which means they're the highest of the high. So if somebody sells one of these plans, I get hundreds of dollars as an override on top of that. And guess what? My agents underneath me, they get these commissions. I don't even have to pay them any commission. They're paid directly from the insurance company, all this commission. I get something above and beyond it, even more money, all because all they did is convinced a senior to sign on the bottom line. Just sign on the bottom line. That's a huge incentive of what they're getting versus what we're making on a Medicare supplement side. This is why agents aren't trained on Medicare supplement. This is it. Oh, you know what the override is on Medicare supplement? I don't want to leave any stone unturned here and be accused of not doing the full service of telling you. What do I make if my downline agent sells a Medicare supplement plan? I start making 2% override, 2%. So that 237 right there, watch this. Am I going to make hundreds a year? Well, that's all there is per year. We multiply that times 2% override. What? We're not in Medicare supplements for the money, folks. We're in Medicare supplements because we're absolutely doing the right thing by people. So you want to call in here and look at all your options when you're turning 65? We'll show you all of them. Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, and what the good and the bad is of both. I encourage you to look at a couple of website resources that I've put together for you if you're working with another agent. If you're doing all this stuff on your own, which is kind of like doing surgery on yourself, I don't recommend it. But if you're doing that, this is what we do for people. You can't see all the companies that are out there. You cannot see all the companies that are out there, especially on Medicare supplements, because they keep those things hidden. We're just going through an audit with the company that just acquired our company, and we're going through and justifying so the expenditures from September right now. We paid $1,650. I just looked at it in September alone for the quote engine that we pay for, so we can see every Medicare supplement plan across the entire country. Now, unless you want to go sign up for that same service, pay $1,650 a month and see in real time when those rates change and what's available in every state, and see how many covered lives that they had, when they had their last rate increase. Most people can't do that. And getting us to do it for you costs you absolutely nothing. So why would you not go through that? The worst thing that you can do is go say, well, that sounds like a good company. I saw their commercial on television, and just go sign up for that company on your own. We get a lot of people that ask us to undo what they did. Okay, so there's Alexis, and she saved somebody $87 a month. I just showed this the other day, but it bears repeating because these are awesome people in my office. That's Gabby, who has the most precious, adorable daughter, who came to visit the other day and I'd already left for the afternoon. Dadgummit. These are our people. So these are our links. Let me go back to the questions that people are submitting. Now I'm going to go to the ones that they've submitted through seniorsavingsnetwork.org/questions. How do I know if I'm healthy enough to switch from my Medicare Advantage plan? That's easy. You can go to seniorsavingsnetwork.org/underwritten. There are two things that you can use as a resource here. First, you can see what the health questions are there. Okay, no problem. You can see what the health questions are. But how do you want to, if you want to see the entire process, what to do first, what to do next, what to do later, and what not to do in the wrong order, if you go to seniorsavingsnetwork.org, at the very top it says Medicare Help. Click that. One of the buttons says, I want to go from Medicare Advantage over to Medicare Supplement. There I walk through the entire process. So you can see how the process works and what to do first, what to do second. But here on the underwritten link is how you can see if you're going to qualify or not. I would like to make a change to my Medicare Advantage in January. Well, you better do it now. You've got until December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, at midnight, to get your enrollment in for all of 2022. Unless you're in a special situation, like you're moving across state lines, you're moving out of the area, that triggers a special election period. Let me share with you a secret I've shared a couple times on this YouTube channel, but got over 100,000 more viewers since last time. Views are just going nuts. If you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, like the lady who was earlier talking about, she felt like she got bamboozled and she's in Medicare Advantage plan. Little secret here. We still live in somewhat a free country. And last time I checked, they can't tell you when you can move from one location to another. If, let's say my mom, who lives here with us in Charleston now, not with us, but in Charleston. Hi, Mom. Let's say that my mom was still living in Northwest Arkansas. She was living in Rogers near Fayetteville, Arkansas. And let's say she got diagnosed with cancer And she had signed up, because she would have done it on her own, on a Medicare Advantage plan. She calls me and she says, I'm going to have to pay 20% of these chemotherapy drugs out of my pocket. I'm going to hit a max out of pocket of $7,550. What do I do? I'd say, Mom, you need to move out of the service area. Why? If Mom moves in with us, or Mom moves her location with Medicare outside the service area, all the bells go off. Medicare Advantage plan, no matter which plan you have, is going to probably call you, but definitely write you a letter and say, you have been disenrolled from our plan because you're moving or moved outside the service area. You can do this up to a month before you intend to move. Just notify your health plan, notify Medicare that you're moving to a location outside the service area. What does that do for you? Two major things. Share this with somebody who's going through this on an Advantage plan, would you? Share it with them. If you move out of the service area on Medicare Advantage, you trigger a special election period. What can you do during that special election period? One of two things. You can either get a different Medicare Advantage plan based on the area that you just moved to. Okay, so I went from one frying pan into the skillet, right? Or you can use that guarantee issue provision to get a Medicare supplement with no underwriting. Which guarantee issue plan are you eligible for? If you're eligible for Medicare prior to January 1, 2020, then forever and for always, Plan F will be your guarantee issue go-to if you ever need it. That is the case for my mom, who's 75. Mom was in Northwest Arkansas, let's say hypothetically, had cancer on a Medicare Advantage plan, and she says, I don't know what to do. I want to be near family. Mom, change your address with your health plan. Get down here right now. I'd probably go get her like I did, load up a moving truck and brought her to Charleston. When Mom changes her address to Charleston, that triggers a special election period for her Medicare Advantage plan. Now she can get a guarantee issue Medicare supplement. And guess what? Everything is covered. Mom can go to Cancer Treatment Centers of America. She can go to MD Anderson. She can go to Johns Hopkins. She can go to Mayo Clinic. She can go to anywhere she wants to go that takes Medicare, from California to Florida and everywhere in between, with no restrictions whatsoever. Oh, and guess how much she has to pay on those Part B cost of drugs, which the Medicare Advantage plan conveniently carves out and says you're on your own for 20%, just like if you were on original Medicare with nothing else. That's what she had to face before, up to her max out of pocket to pay for those drugs, because they're under Part B typically, and the Advantage plan says we don't want any part of that, and they were given for some reason a carve out where they don't have to cover it. Guess what? On a guarantee issue Medicare supplement plan, again, with no underwriting, no health questions necessary, those are all covered. All covered. 100%. Oh, and by the way, since she moved out of that area into another service area, triggering her special election period, if you don't believe me, look at Medicare.gov special election period. Google Medicare.gov move out of service area and see what you can do. It's there, folks. But like they say, the young people know the rules and the old people know the exceptions. I'm getting pretty old and I know some exceptions. If you have a problem like that, we can help you navigate that situation so you can get the maximum coverage that you should be able to get. Oh, so what I was going to say is, let's say Mom moved over here, right? She gets on a Medicare supplement, wham, bam, no underwriting necessary, effective the next month on the first of the month, no problem whatsoever. She also gets a special election period to get a drug plan. So let's say that she's going to be taking a lot of Part D drugs too, right? Lots of drugs. But she only signed up for the cheapest of the cheapest of the cheapest Medicare Part D plan, drug plan, standalone plan, right? If she moves outside the service area, she gets a do-over. Doesn't matter if it's April, doesn't matter if it's October. Effective immediately on the first of the next month, moving out of the service area triggers a special election period where you can go from a cheap plan to the most comprehensive plan that'll give you the best bang for your buck when you're covering a massive amount of drugs by something like going through a critical illness like that. There are always options, and that's one that you won't hear another agent talking about. Woo! I get excited. Let me see if there are any other ones in here. Let's see. Thanks for being here. Stuart says I'm blushing. Thanks for the comment, Stuart, on sharing with us what really happened to you when you got that drug plan call from India. And it says, so I defer Plan B. It's not Plan B, it's Part B. Big distinction. And I know people get them confused all the time. Part B of Medicare, because there is a Plan B Medicare supplement too. You don't want to get those confused. So I defer Part B. And on a big company's plan, is there a 6-month period to sign up on Part B or sign up as soon as I retire? When you're past 65 and you're continuing to work on a large employer plan, you are in charge. You decide when you want to start Part B. If you say, you know what, our company's just merged with somebody else, the stress is really getting to me, I can't take this place anymore, I thought it was going to be easier, I thought it was going to be better, I can't take the stress of dealing with my employees anymore, I'm leaving. Guess what? Call up Social Security and start Part B. They'll get it started for you. No problem. Anytime you want to, you can start it. When your Part B starts is when your supplement should start or could start. So you have that open enrollment window. The initial election period starts when your Part B starts. I talked about before, you can do that up to 6 months before. You can also do that with a supplement only for 6 months after Part B starts too. So if you want to start that now, and you want to look at your supplement plan for next month, the next month, the next month, the next month, no problem. Here's another little cool trick nobody will tell you. On your Medicare supplement, you can have it effective the same day. I don't want to hurt any insurance industry people here, but I'm going to let you know one of the other exceptions, right? If you're in your initial election period, that means that you just started Part B and you decided, I'm going to wait, I'm going to procrastinate, I'm not going to get a plan right now. If you get sick, you have something that's going on and you've been on your employer plan all this time, but you know that with your employer plan, you're going to have massive deductible, you're going to have managed care, you're going to have prior authorizations and that kind of junk. You can get a Medicare supplement effective. Again, talking about your Part B started within the last 6 months. You can call me today and say, I want a Part B, I want a Medicare supplement right now. And because you're within that 6-month window, Part B has already started, you're still within 6 months, we can make that effective today. And as long as there's been no breach in coverage for over 62 days, there are no pre-existing conditions that are going to exclude you getting covered 100% from day one. So you are in the driver's seat, Meta. You can do whatever you want. As long as you have qualifying coverage, you can continue to defer. But some people say, I want to leave my employer plan. You don't have to do it 6 months in advance. No, you don't. Now, as we're talking about time periods here and being fully transparent, Medicare Advantage does not have a 6-month window on both sides. It has a 3-month window on both sides. So that oftentimes will expire. And the problem we get is when somebody loses employer coverage and they don't get a drug plan, because the drug plans are technically under the auspices and the rules and the time frames of Medicare Advantage. So you don't want to lose an employer plan and all that stuff and not get a drug plan. We can help answer that for you. Let's see. Wow, just got a call like that. Ooh. Said I'm working with someone. Thanks, Janie, and I'm glad you are. Meta said, do you have medical underwriting if you're going from Plan G, between Plan G and Plan N? Yes and no. I could go through all 50 states and tell you what the rules are, or I could work really hard with my friend Robert on developing a website that has it right there so you can actually see it live. Let me show you what it looks like. My words where my mouth is, right? SeniorSavingsNetwork.org/underwritten. I'm drag it over here so you can see it. I made this website. If you're looking at it in the future, it might change a little bit, but I explain in this video what's involved in the underwriting. Hi, this is Christopher Westfall. The purpose of this page is to save you time. Look at that. Here's the country. So depending on where you are in the country, if you are in California, this is going to say, in California, you can change Medicare supplements up to 60 days after your birthday. They have the birthday rule there. Each year to the same plan or a lesser plan without underwriting. So if you're in California and you're on Plan G, you can go to a Plan N every year on your birthday without any underwriting necessary. Washington State, let's see what that says. Whoa, clicked the wrong one. Hang on. A little bit of a delay here. Well, I might have changed that. Oh, something's not working. But anyway, if you highlight these on, there it is. The code's not fully loaded. If you highlight the state, it's supposed to pop up and show you what the specific rules are on that state. And it's just a delay here with the code loading. It always happens when you're on live stream. It just doesn't load the whole thing. But depending on the state, it depends on the rules. For instance, Missouri has an anniversary rule. They're kind of weird that way in Missouri. That's great for them. But your policy anniversary is what drives your ability to change plans like that. And they call it guarantee issue. Meanwhile, other states like Nevada have just passed that starts January 1st. In Nevada, they have an open enrollment where you can go to a different plan without underwriting. But that's based, again, on your birthday. So it depends on what state that you're in. And when this is working, when you're not live streaming the page in real time, this is, again, is at seniorsavingsnetwork.org/underwritten. You can see what those rules are on your state, and you can see what the underwriting questions would be if you're not in a state that gives you that guarantee issue or open enrollment opportunity. Starfish says, what's the main difference between Plan N and Plan G? I encourage you to see something that I've done. Again, a lot of research and work putting this together for you. Let me make it right now and live. It's not live, it's Memorex. So the question is, what is the difference between Plan G and Plan N? This is a huge one that people need to know more about because nobody's trying to convince anybody about Plan N out there. Look at Plan N Medicare.org. Not only will you see the differences in Plan N and Plan G, you'll see the rate increase trend and what's going on in the country with Plan N and Plan G. I actually have on there real recent examples. Hannah, can you ask Robert about that? Because that was, yeah. Getting live real time. This is real life. PlanNMedicare.org will show you what the differences are on Plan N and Plan G. And also look at those graphics that I have in there. These are notices that we get inside the industry, and that's a benefit of having licenses across the entire country, because if you have benefits, if you have licenses across the country and you're working with these companies everywhere, they'll send you all these rate increase notices. So we keep those. And we are constantly seeing rate increase notices from Plan G and Plan N side by side across the country. And Plan G is having average of double-digit rate increases, and Plan N is having very small single-digit rate increases over and over and over, quarter by quarter by quarter by year by year. Okay. Let's see. Can you go from Medicare Advantage to a supplement plan, Medicare disability age 60? You can, and that depends on your state. And that's why I made the website called MedicareOnDisability.com. It covers that specifically there with not a map. It's not pretty like that. We haven't put the map on there yet, but I've got the list of states where we can do a Medicare supplement. But in some states, like I mentioned, just like South Carolina, they don't have such a thing. Let's see. All right. Kendall Pace from your office was very very educated in Medicare. Nice to work with and excellent to speak with. Thank you for having this site. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Joni. That's cool. I got your picture on there. That's very neat. Yeah, Kendall is amazing. She's one of our best people. Shout out to Gabby for helping me on a drug plan. Also, your videos help me navigate and benefit it. Oh, thank you so much, Manny and Dawn. What did my wife do? Oh, goodness. Let's see. Wow, we have more people on the live stream now than we had the other day. I started Medicare, and I'm not reading these all the way through, so if I get something that's goofy, that's the benefit of being live. Early morning riser, I like how you put that. I'm getting cards from companies and letters. There is a massive amount, hundreds of millions of dollars going to these private insurance companies, the Medicare Advantage companies, to incentivize them on getting your business. So yeah, they've got the money to do it. You'll see them all over the interstate, billboards. You'll see them on newspapers for people who still read them, full page ads, and on television nonstop. That cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Guess where that money comes from? You, the taxpayer, paid toward the Medicare Advantage company to take you off of original Medicare, and they manage all your healthcare for you. I hate to break this to you, but you're not special just because you're getting all these advertisements during the annual enrollment period. They're sending them to absolutely everybody. My friend, former captain that I had at the sheriff's office that was over me, wrote to me the other day and said he's getting in the industry, looking at it really closely with us. Do you send Christmas cards to everybody? And I said, no, we don't send Christmas cards to our clients because they're already barraged with Medicare junk from Medicare people all during the annual enrollment period, and it would get completely lost in the weeds. And so we don't want to be lost in the weeds. We want to be providing value where we can. But yeah, they have a huge budget to try to get you in, lure you in. I mean, if they're paying an agent $700 just to get you on as a brand new person to Medicare Advantage, and they're paying me an override of hundreds of dollars on top of that, that's a lot of money that you can invest. You could spend $500 per client to acquire that client and still make a profit. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Is there a problem deferring Plan D? That's Part D, the drug plan, I'm assuming, because there is also a Medicare Supplement Plan D. Didn't catch on very well. Is there a problem in deferring Part D, the drug plan, along with B until I retire? If you are continuing with your qualifying coverage of having both, then no, there's no problem at all. Here's something you're going to experience. No matter when you start your Part D drug plan, if you're doing it after the age of 65, your Part D provider, first of all, is going to call you and try to upsell you on an Advantage plan. You just wait for it. It's going to happen. But secondly, they're likely going to send you a letter saying, Medicare shows that you're just having a drug plan for the first time. This means you have to prove to us, so we can prove to Medicare, that you should not get the 1% per month penalty for the rest of your life for not having had a drug plan since you were 65. The weird difference here between, and you brought it up, Part B of Medicare, B as in boy, and Part D, D as in drug, the difference is on Part B, you have to submit that proof after 65. At the time of application, you submit that to Social Security. The drug plan, however, you have to submit to the carrier after you've already signed up for it. An important thing, and you'll see that on our website where we do drug plans at startpartd.com, right there. When you're doing an enrollment and you're not brand new to Medicare, let me leave that, go back. When you're not turning 65, right? You're leaving an employer or group plan. That's the actual terminology. You're leaving an employer or group or union plan. That's known as a special election period that allows you then to get a drug plan off cycle. Off cycle means not during the annual enrollment period, not when you're brand new turning 65. You deferred. That's fine, as long as you have qualifying coverage still. So you get a special election period. Now you can get a drug plan. It's important at the end, and I have this on the video there. Watch the video at startpartd.com. That when you're going through the checkout at that plan, the whatever enrollment, whichever company you choose, you must pick the thing that says, reason why I'm getting it now, I'm leaving an employer or union or group coverage. I'm leaving that coverage. Even though you put that in there, they know that you qualify for it. After the fact is when they're going to write you a letter and say, hey, you just signed up for Aetna or Humana or whoever drug plan. We need you to supply proof that you had coverage up to this point. So what's really important at that point is, yeah, you might need something from the employer. The best thing to do is keep your certificate of qualifying coverage that you get when you leave the employer group plan. They're going to send you a certificate that says you had coverage with us from this day until that day. Keep that piece of paper. It's going to be important. So to wrap that up, on Part B, you have to prove ahead of time that you can get Part B off cycle from when you were 65. Part D, you prove it on the back end, but important to use that SEP code of leaving an employer plan. That's your justification on the application that you can get it. Why are there even Advantage plans? Because the country would be completely bankrupt already if everyone was still on original Medicare. They know that. So they can save money by deferring those costs over to the Advantage plans and saying, you guys save money. However you do it, you save money and we'll pay you less than it would be on original Medicare. However, because the industry insiders and lobbyists on K Street, they always end up making more money than it would have cost on original Medicare. Funny how that works. Just kind of weird. Let's see if I can fix this. I can't get proof. I have B. I don't know what you mean there, Barb. If you want to see when you were eligible for Part A and B, if you want to see your card, you can get it on Social Security's website, your Medicare card, or you can sign up at mymedicare.gov and you can get either a replacement card or you can print one that's right there on your login. It's important that everybody goes to mymedicare.gov and sign up for an account there. You can see Medicare claims that have been paid on your behalf. Oftentimes what happens when somebody's new to Medicare and then new to a Medicare supplement, they'll get a bill from the provider and you don't want to pay that bill right then. Wait until Medicare has responded. They've rebilled that based on what Medicare approves. Then they've submitted that claim electronically to your Medicare supplement. And then they'll send you the EOB saying, Medicare paid this, your supplement paid this. Now here's what's remaining, if anything at all. Janie says, I was actually able to do that dumb thing on my own. Okay, cool. Barb says, I've been on Medicare Part A since 2019, receiving coverage from employer for everything else. I quit working 1st of September. I sent in all the forms to get on Part B. If I were you, I would call your local Social Security office and check on the status of that. I really would. And ask for a supervisor if you still don't get an answer on where that is. But I would always start local rather than calling the national number and see if they can help you with that. I've got the guidance on how to best do that over at howtostartmedicare.com as to kind of what envelope to put it in, where to send it to, and all that kind of stuff if you're just starting. Sharon of London, my mom, I love that. We have a niece that lives in England, and she says, my mom, I love that. My mom is on Eliquis, so is mine. And was told by, via benefits, she has to stay on the Advantage plan she was conned into year before last. Thank you for your work. You don't have to stay on anything. This brings to light something that's been happening over and over again with large employer groups that are leaving. As a matter of fact, I did a video just about GE 8 years ago, when they first said, I know that we promised you guys you're going to have benefits for the rest of your life as retirees. Psych, we changed our mind. Call this agency and they'll take care of your benefits for you. And by take care of that, I mean put you on a Medicare supplement or a Medicare Advantage plan. The agency then is left to determine, what are we going to put somebody on? Medicare supplement, where we make small commission, Medicare Advantage, where we make bigger commission, and it's simple and there's no underwriting, there's no health questions, and there's nothing to get on it. Let's just put them on an Advantage plan. The service after the sale is the kicker, just for those who want to know the difference. Because Advantage plan has much higher customer service for an agent. Why? Because this got denied, that copay got denied. Why was this declined? Why can't I get that prior authorization? Why is this claim not going to be approved? Why can't I get a referral? Why can't I get authorization? It's a nightmare. But anyway, so most of these employers are just putting you on an Advantage plan that's out there in the market anyway. There are a couple of employers left who have really good, specifically negotiated and created Advantage plans just for their small groups. Those might be good. But if they're just giving you something that's off the shelf that any of us could sell, any of us could write anywhere, you're having no advantage, bad word. You're having no benefit to you to just get what they're telling you. I would go to a website where you can type in your own stuff and you can see what? It's not on there. Well, let's just put that on there since we are still in AEP. Let me show you what that would be. Something like, this is going to get longer and longer because I've made a lot of resources for people. Medicare, if you want to do an Advantage plan again, or you have to, AdvantageNearMe.com. Medicare AdvantageNearMe.com. And you can see what we see as companies that we've chosen to deal with across the country, and you can see what their benefits are. Furthermore, you can also put in your drugs. You can put in your doctors. You can put in your facilities, hospitals. How can I see Advantage plans near me? Medicare Advantage near me.com. You can see what we see, and you can sign up for it right then. As long as you do it before December 7th at midnight, it becomes effective then on January 1, unless you're new to Medicare and there's something else that applies for you. But I would put that drug in there and look. I've also been told by Robert, gosh, I can't remember which one is really good for that right now. But a lot of people that we know are getting Eliquis from Canada. We're going to have information for our clients on that in the first quarter of 2022. So then it doesn't matter which drug plan you get on or which off-the-shelf, just prepackaged drug plan that you got on because they just put you on one. And that's another thing that you really need to look at in the Advantage plan is when they tell you that the drugs are included on the Advantage plan, they are included. And the drug plan that they put you on that's wrapped up in that MAPD, Medicare Advantage Part D, MAPD is what they call it. It's just off the shelf, stuck in their generic drug plan. It's not tailored for your list of drugs or where you go to the pharmacy. It's just a drug plan. So hope you like it. They don't tell you that. And there's a big difference in having a drug plan that's customized for you. And by that, I mean, you put all this stuff in a search engine like startpartd.com, for instance, and you see the drug plans based on their cost for the year. On Medicare Advantage, you can also see that on our search engine, but if you just pick one that somebody says is a good plan, you need to pay very close attention to the drug component of that because it may not be tailored to you, probably not, and that money does not go toward your max out of pocket. You spend $1,000 on drugs for the year, that does not bring your max out of pocket down $1,000 for your medical stuff. It doesn't. It's completely separate. A lot of people don't know that. She was conned by a phone call from an Advantage salesperson. No. Let's see. Brother has military for life. Turned 65. It depends on which coverage you're talking about that he has. Does he have TRICARE, Champus? If so, doesn't need anything else. But certainly you can have him call us. Happy to talk to him and thank him for his service too. I'm a therapist at a nursing home, and dealing with the Advantage plans is a nightmare and not good for the patient at all. They have to approve your therapy. What do they know about therapy? We get these all the time on our YouTube channel. If you're bored one day and you want to know what other people have experienced with regard to their Medicare journey, look at the comments on our hundreds of videos on YouTube. I'm blown away every day as I go through, and I've been approving about 100 a day for the last 5 days now. Unbelievable discussions and interactions going on in the comments of these videos that are there. And a lot of people are working in the industry as healthcare professionals having dealt with these plans, and they'll tell you in their own words what they've had to deal with on trying to advocate on behalf of seniors. It's a black and white world. It's completely different when you have original Medicare and a supplement that just goes along for the ride. Medicare makes the call, or you have a managed care plan and they have to approve every single step of the way, and you have to fight for an inch and say, we need more days. We need more days in the hospital or skilled nursing. Okay, we'll give you another couple of days. Nope, we're going to deny that, have to go through appeals and everything else. Woo, and the insiders is what I just rely on their expertise and their opinion. Valerie, like I'll propose to you, if you would like to come on and do an interview with me, we can record it. I'll send it to you for your pre-approval before airing it, but I'd love to do an interview with you on Zoom and just hear your stories and hear what's been going on. I can even blur your face and blur your name and change your voice and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's really important that we share what's really going on with people's actual experiences they're dealing with it. LC, I loved your comment that I had it in here before. Just shared your information on the NextDoor app. Gosh, that's so great. We had that in a weekly staff meeting a few weeks ago, where one of our people, 𝗂𝗄𝗿, in fact, that you saw her picture on here, 𝗂𝗂𝗄𝗿 was answering someone's question on a NextDoor app. They're asking about, what do I do about Medicare plan? And 𝗂𝗂𝗄𝗿 put that on NextDoor. I thought that was so genius. And if everybody could do that, oh my goodness. If you don't have the NextDoor app on your phone, I highly encourage you to get it. It's great to know what's going on in your neighborhood. People are concerned about something going on, or a suspicious car was seen in your neighborhood, that kind of thing. It's a really neat app for your local community. And we've had this happen last year near where I live in Mount Pleasant. Someone was asking on there, hey, what do I do for a Medicare plan? Anybody know anybody reputable in the area that does Medicare plans? I'm like, yeah, me, I'll help you. So if you want to share with other people like LC did, thank you so much, on the NextDoor app. Hey, I found this company that's reputable, been around for a long time, has, 750 5-star reviews on Google. So obviously we know what we're doing. We're taking care of people. And hey, you can reach out to them. Here's their website or whatever. Man, that'd be really appreciated. Thank you, LC. That is awesome. Another LC, what is the number where I can get in contact with you? It's best if you look at the website because it answers tons of your questions first. I don't want to annoy you with that answer, but it's 800-729-9590. I'll put it on here right there. 800-729-9590. That's our phone number. It's probably bouncing right into voicemail right now because everybody's on an outbound call with the people who've set appointments from the website. But we're doing our level best, I promise you. Her flex card, let's see. Medicare agent told me I needed an Advantage plan because if I only had original Medicare, I would not be able to find a doctor that would accept me. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's really bad. If you had a doctor at age 64 and you're seeing that doctor and then you get Medicare and you ask that doctor, hey, I'm an existing patient. Can I still see you on Medicare? They're going to still see you on Medicare. I don't understand the dilemma there. So what's better is, hey, go on, or let me give you this thick book of networks of the doctor. And by the way, it's in a book. So as soon as it's printed, it's stale. The Medicare Rights Center, MedicareRights.org, wrote a letter to Medicare, it was 2020, saying that they really want, and the American Medical Association did the same, saying that they really want Medicare to get stronger enforcement against Medicare Advantage companies having stale, out-of-date network books. So their networks are changing all the time. And if you saw it in black and white in print, that is, it may be stale by the time you're even reading it. And understand that on Medicare Advantage or any healthcare plan, when they're on a plan, they're capitated, they're paid every month depending on how many members they're seeing. They can leave those plans any time of the year. They're not on a plan by plan year like you are. They have a contract, and it's an annual contract that can be changed at any time. So a lot of people during this annual enrollment period right now are picking Medicare Advantage plans and having to select a primary care doctor, only to find out in January, and I know this because of the Medicare Advantage plans we write when people demand them, what happens is they'll say, wait, my doctor's no longer in the plan, but you told me they're in the plan. Well, they were in the plan in October or November or December, but guess what? In January, they've changed their mind. They're no longer in that plan. You have to find another primary care doctor who will be your primary go-to for all the specialty care that you need. They have to give you a referral and give you up to a specialist to let you go to those specialists. Let's see. Do you get paid for just signing us up Plan A? I don't know if you mean Part A. Plan A Medicare Supplement, I would not recommend. It hardly covers anything. Part A of Medicare, no, we don't sign people up for it, and we don't do anything. You know what's kind of interesting? I did make a website. Oh gosh, again. Somebody always says to us all the time, they're like, this is too good to be true. You're too nice. There must be a gimmick to this. What's the catch? And they'll say, well, I don't understand. If you're doing all this out of the kindness of your heart, how do you get paid? So I got so tired of hearing that over the years that I just made a resource for that. Just the same way that your car insurance agent gets paid, it's in the premium. Just the same way that your homeowner's insurance agent gets paid. So I made howdoyougetpaid.com. Answers that question. It actually will skip right to the video where I was talking about that very thing. So you don't have to skip anything else or go through anything else. How do you get paid, Chris? It's in there. It's all in the rate. And the thing is, we always try to sell the most cost-effective plan, not the most expensive plan. If we were trying to sell the most expensive plan, we'd sell the ones that are paying a current bonus to agents right now because they're usually the most expensive, and those Plan Fs, but we don't. So if you're getting told you need a Plan F or a Plan G in most places, you should really shop with somebody who's consistently independent and just looking out for you, because it all comes out in the wash as far as our commissions go. Daryl, thanks for dropping knowledge. I have an appointment with Christina today. Awesome. Yeah, she has been working so hard. Christina in our office. She is so awesome. Are those options still available to new Medicare patients in 2022? JBM, it's been a minute, so I'm not sure which those options you're talking about. If you're talking about the one, it might have been this time, we were talking about if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan and you get some huge debilitating disease or major condition that you're having to fight, moving outside the service area, notifying your health plan and Medicare that you've done so, triggering a special election period where you can get a Medicare supplement guarantee issue. Yeah, that's still the way, same way. Yep. Let's see. Why do you suggest direct draft for premium instead of having them deducted from Social Security? I don't. You can't deduct a Medicare supplement premium from Social Security. So that's what I was talking to specifically. And what the question was that I answered was, the person said, if I'm not getting Social Security income, how do I pay my Part B of Medicare? So if you don't have anything to deduct it from, your option is to pay it quarterly or go to mymedicare.gov and signing up for checking draft. Now, if you go to mymedicare.gov and pay with a credit card, you can do a one-time payment, either quarterly or monthly, but you have to continue to do that manually. They can't do it automatically. The only way to do it automatically is mymedicare.gov and sign up for a monthly bank draft from a check. Good deal. If I leave Plan N to go to AT&T United Healthcare's Advantage for AT&T retirees and then decide within a year to go back, can I go back to Plan N or I must go to a different carrier? Okay, so that's a good question. Assuming that you did not get the first area of trial right, which is you were on this Advantage plan, yeah, because you're on Plan N. If you had signed up for the Advantage plan when you're first eligible for Medicare, then you get the first version of trial right on Medicare Advantage. And so what that means is if you gave up your initial election period, your open enrollment, and you chose Medicare Advantage right off the bat, anytime in that first year you say this Advantage plan is not for me, you get a do-over of your open enrollment. So that means you can get any plan available. If this scenario that you're talking about, there's another caveat to that. So if you're on a Medicare supplement, you've had one for however long, you've never had a Medicare Advantage plan before. That's the trick. If this is your first time trying a Medicare Advantage plan, and then you gave up your supplement, that's the second version of the trial right on Medicare Advantage. In that first year of being on that new Medicare Advantage plan, never having been on one before, you decide this is not for me. I want to go back to my plan. The law says you have to go back and get your original Medicare supplement. What I can tell you from being in the industry is 63 days after you have no longer had that plan, it can no longer be recovered. So that may be different with a carrier that we don't work with, but all the ones that we work with, once you say, I don't need your plan anymore, stop my plan, on day 64, you can't get that plan anymore. You just can't get it anymore. So the law says if it's available, you can go back and get that Medicare supplement. In your case, Plan N. If it's no longer available, you have guarantee issue. So Plan F or Plan G, depending on when you were first eligible for Medicare, is the only plan you can then get because of guarantee issue. Now, if you are living in one of the states like California, Oregon, Missouri, New York, where you can change plans either one time per year on your birthday or anniversary or any time like New York, you can always downgrade from that G to a Plan N during those scenarios. But in the far vast expanse of the country, yeah, you're going to be stuck on the guarantee issue version of that plan. Unless, and most people throw this out. I argued with a carrier last year who put out an edict that if a person qualifies for guarantee issue, let's say a Plan G, then dump them into Plan G. And I said, if a person wants Plan N, yeah, they could have Plan G from guarantee issue, but they're healthy. So let them have the plan that they want. They want Plan N because it's a better plan for them. Let them have Plan N. They're like, nope. If they can qualify for guarantee issue, charge them that guarantee issue plan rate, which leads me to the conclusion that even more toward my theory on PlanNMedicare.org, that those rates on those guarantee issue plans are in fact feeling the premium supplementation from the guarantee issue aspect of them having to take people without health underwriting. So I say that if there's a plan that you have to qualify for or a plan that you can get without qualifying for it, it's probably better to go for the plan that you can try to get. And so I would encourage anybody in that scenario to look at seniorsavingsnetwork.org/underwritten. See if you can go straight for the Plan N, which you can't get by guarantee issue. That's why the rates are so stable. So if you can qualify with health underwriting, let's just skip the guarantee issue option. It's there as a backup, but let's go for the best plan for you. And in many cases, it's Plan N. Most agents won't tell you that. But we're going to try to get you the plan that you can qualify for based on your health and your conditions there. Let's see. Yes, definitely. So many people put off their Part D options looking at them, and I don't want you to do that because as of the day of this recording, it's November the 19th, 2021. December 7th is coming soon. Okay, Google. How many days until December 7th? 18 days. We have 18 days left, and there's going to be a mad crush on every website that has anything to do with Medicare and phones and everything else. So I would encourage you to do it now. If you change your mind, want to go to a different plan between now and December 7th, you can change it. You know, take more time, whatever. The last application in is the one that works on January 1. Let's see. That's right. Yeah, he was in that video. That's awesome. I love doing interviews with our clients that we've helped, especially the ones that were kind of lured away and not told the whole story. And then they'll do a Zoom call with me and we can tell the whole story and tell it for other people who may have gone through the same thing. That's neat. Let's see. I turned 65 in April. When should I sign up for Part B with Social Security? I would do it in February. Look at howtostartmedicare.com. Did I put that on there yet? Dadgummit. Howtostartmedicare.com. Bill says Medicare Advantage advertised, you may get this or you may get that. Oh my goodness. Bring up a good point, sir. Let me show you something that Nick in my office just got today. Pretty sick in my mind, but I'll let you see it. I'm going to give an opinion on what may otherwise be a copyrighted work here. Just want you to know that this is just my opinion, and I hope that the sound works. I'm not sure if I turned it on for this or not, but if it doesn't work, I'll stop it and start it again. But I want you to see that was something that was just put out on the internet, and I'm looking for, and I hate to coin a phrase because it wasn't my phrase to begin with, fair and balanced. Telling both sides of the story, telling all the options that are available to include, but not limited to, Medicare and Medicare Supplement. All these advertisements, all these videos on YouTube are only talking about one thing. That's Medicare Advantage. Why is that? It begs the question. What we're looking for is her being transparent about all the options that people have. And if somebody can tell me how many times she talks about Medicare Advantage as the option that people have, and pay close attention. Now they're using the credibility of Inside Edition. So this is just my opinion on a copyrighted work for the purposes of commentary and fair use. Let's see what she said.
Feel overwhelmed.
There's no time like now to focus on your health. We teamed up with MedicareAdvantage.com and their licensed insurance agent, Paula Stander, to debunk common Medicare myths.
The Medicare annual enrollment period is happening now through December 7th. So this is the time you can select a plan for 2022. Now, to help you prepare, we're unpacking some Medicare myths. The first misconception is that you can make changes to your Medicare coverage whenever you want. Actually, there are only certain times of the year when you can sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan without meeting certain requirements.
Can't hear me. But if your world is only 100% Medicare Advantage, yeah, there is only one time a year. Medicare Supplement, any time of year you want, you can change.
Certain times of the year when you can sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan without meeting certain requirements. And right now is the Medicare annual enrollment period where you can join or switch Medicare Advantage plans. The next myth is...
Hey, wait, when can I join or change a Medicare Supplement plan? Can you talk about that? No.
Switch Medicare Advantage plans. The next myth is that original Medicare covers all of your healthcare needs.
Oh my gosh, no, it doesn't. It doesn't cover dental, vision, hearing. That's why we offer to our clients the best dental, vision, hearing supplement in the country, which you can go to any dentist in or out of a network. And it's not just covering cleanings like many Medicare Advantage plans do. You're right. Original Medicare never was intended to cover dental, vision, hearing. Are they going to bring that in the future at some point? Yes, they are. But listen to how misleading this is. Original Medicare covers everything. What a crock,
is
right?
That original Medicare covers all of your healthcare needs.
Oh, no.
Original Medicare does not cover things like prescription drugs.
No, it doesn't. That's why you can get a drug plan specifically tailored for you for as little as less than $7 a month.
Dental, vision, or hearing coverage. If you want a plan that could help cover eyeglasses, dentures, and hearing aids, and provide services like transportation and medical appointments, consider a Medicare Advantage plan. These plans may even include an allowance.
They may, here's Bill Shatner again, small print, depending on your zip code, it may have this, it may have that. If you're dual eligible for Medicaid and Medicare, if your income is less than $7,000 a year, you may qualify for this, you may qualify for that. But let me just give it a broad brush and tell you that all these things are with Medicare Advantage. It's so beautiful. Am I going to tell you about prior authorization or the Office of Inspector General's report that shows that 75% of the time that they deny claims, which are the majority for prior authorization, that ultimately they're overturned on appeal? No, we're not going to tell you that. Am I going to tell you that you're going to have to pay the full weight of 20% of what Part B would have covered if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan anyway, and it's go towards your max out of pocket, which is a wonderful, generous, sometimes $7,500 a year? No, not going to tell you that, but it's just so wonderful because we have dental.
These plans may even include an allowance for items you use every day, like vitamins and
give me some vitamins, but don't tell me I can have
When people hear
surgery.
extra benefits, they think extra cost.
Yes, and that brings us to our third
Our
common
best
myth,
part.
which is that Medicare Advantage plans are expensive. Well, I'm here to tell you that you may
that's
even
exactly
qualify
why she's
for
here
a
to tell
plan
you.
with a $0 monthly premium.
$0,
$0
it's free.
deductibles or $0 co-payments for common services
It's
like
free.
doctor's visits.
If someone is interested in a Medicare Advantage plan, what should they do?
Well, you
Well,
can
since I
call
paid you, you should go to my
800
website. Oh, gosh. Here's another one. And see if this is if this sounds rehearsed or forced in any way.
Welcome back. If there's one thing I never take for granted, it's my health. And since I've become a mom, my well-being has never
we've
been
gotta
more
listen to her
important.
'cause she's a
But when you're
mom.
trying to research health insurance, it can be really confusing to try and wade through all the information out there
All
and
of
make
it, including those supplements. Let's talk about all the information that's out there, shall we?
the right decision for you and your family. So today, for my TAM fam, who also happen to be Medicare beneficiaries, listen up because you'll want to hear this one. We have Brianna Matheson, a licensed insurance agent and spokesperson for MedicareAdvantage.com.
A spokesperson for the MedicareAdvantage.com, which is not a government site, by the way.
Here to
Let's hear how many times she talks about Medigap or Medicare Supplement.
talk about Medicare Advantage plans. Welcome to the TAM fam. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Tamron. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's start. If you're looking for a plan with more benefits than the original Medicare provides, like coverage for things, on my list is prescription drugs, dental, vision, hearing care. What options are
How'd they get on your list? I'm just curious.
out there?
Well, Tamron, if you are looking for more benefits than what original Medicare provides, then you may want to consider a Medicare Advantage plan. And Medicare Advantage is an all-in-one alternative to original Medicare.
All in
And
one.
so you may be able to get the benefits on your screen, including
That is so highly scripted. Just pay attention to what she exactly said. You may be able to. You may be able to. Guess what you may be able to get on a Medicare supplement? The same thing in California that you got in Florida. It's the same standardized plan. You don't have a Mickey Mouse thing by saying, you know what? In Timbuktu, Pennsylvania, we're going to have this amazing benefit. And then we can go on national television and pay for a spokesperson time like this and say, you may be able to get a free Thanksgiving turkey. May be able to. Why? Because you had one plan and one zip code in the country that covered that specific benefit. But again, pay close attention to the scripting.
Medicare Advantage is an all-in-one alternative to original Medicare. And so you may be able to get the benefits on your screen included in one plan.
Small print says, not all plans available in all areas. Benefits may be subject to limitations and annual maximums. Not available with all plans. Already said that. Transportation to plan approved locations, if it's available at all.
And Medicare Advantage plans may include benefits like prescription drug coverage, dental care and dentures,
Unicorns.
vision care and eyeglasses, hearing care and hearing aids, gym memberships, wellness visits, and a
It's
healthy
so
food
great.
allowance, transportation to medical appointments, an allowance for over-the-counter items like vitamins and diabetic supplies, and a personal emergency response system for your home.
Wow.
Okay, it sounds so
How much does it
convenient,
cost,
but you
though?
know what I'm going to ask next. Is
Here
it
it is.
expensive? How much do these plans cost?
That's the best
Not
part.
at all. So Medicare Advantage plans are affordable and can actually help you save money. Now, these plans have an annual limit on your out-of-pocket costs, and we also include $0 deductibles and $0 copays for many services. And you may even qualify for a plan with a premium as low as $0 per month. Medicare Advantage plans
Man,
are
it's
so
magic.
popular and over 26 million people have a plan. And plus now is a great time to join a plan because it's the Medicare
Only
annual
time.
enrollment period. And what that means is from October 15th to December 7th, Medicare beneficiaries can enroll in or switch their Medicare Advantage plans.
Are there any other benefits we should know about?
Absolutely. So we can help you find a Medicare.
Wait, what are you going to tell us about the other benefits like a Medicare supplement? What do I give up by going from original Medicare to a Medicare Advantage plan? How does that maximum out-of-pocket cost really apply if you say that I can't get coverage for something? How's a drug plan selected when you just bundle it all into my everything is magical plan?
Advantage plan with benefits like up to $3,000 or more in dental benefits, $900 or more in over-the-counter allowances, or even $2,000 or more in hearing benefits.
So how can my TAM fam find out more information?
Your TAM
Well,
fam
Tam
can
Fam,
call the
if
sponsored
you are
number.
interested in learning more about your Medicare Advantage plan options, call 800-860-2.
Not supposed to look right in the camera when you're trying to look like you're unbiased. Whew. Yeah. May is the word. You may get. Here's a good question. Can you change your Part D on Medicare throughout the course of the year? No, that's why they have the annual election period. Absent any special election period changes, like moving outside the service area, which we talked about at length before, without that, you have to wait for this period of time. And then whatever you pick during this period of time, which is October 15th through December 7th, that is going into effect in January. And those plans have changed a lot. Last big reminder, I just want you to know, please don't think that because last year your drug plan was good, it's going to be the same way this year, because there are some major changes happening this year on the drug plans. And if you did not study your annual notice of change, you may be in for a huge sticker shock when you go to fill your drugs in January, thinking that everything was the same. The Kaiser Family Foundation found that overwhelmingly, most everybody does not change or even look at their drug plan during this period of time. That's a big mistake. We make it very easy. If you're sitting at home and you have time, look at startpartd.com. Just look at what the options are. You can put your drugs in there, the dosage that you're taking in your favorite pharmacy. I would encourage you to try a couple of different pharmacies and see what that does to the total out-of-pocket cost. But look at your plan. You can find your plan. You've already got a plan. Look at on there and see how does it compare to the other plans, given your new list of drugs that you're going to have for starting at least 2022. But no, you can't charge it all throughout the year. Let's see. How do drug companies get away with raising a drug price after the enrollment period is ended, after you've made a decision based on the advertising? We have one of those that we're talking about right now. They had it on their formulary, submitted to Medicare, and now they're telling Medicare they don't want it on their formulary. And somehow it remains to be fully adjudicated, but it looks like they're going to be able to just pull it off their formulary, even though people may have relied on that data to sign up for that plan. That's a good question. I plan on starting Social Security and quit work January 1. I have Medicare A and B. Okay, now you're looking at something very unique here. You've already been on Part A and Part B, and I could ask you this, but I'm not sure when you'd be able to get back to an answer in here, but it depends on when you started Part B. If you've been on Part B for longer than 6 months, you're out of your initial election period. So your options are very limited here. You can, at any time, go through underwriting when you're leaving the employer plan and pick a Plan N if you want to. Look at all your options. You also didn't tell me how old you are, so that would tell me if guarantee issue would be your Plan F or Plan G, depending on your age. So if you're going on to the retiree portion, you're leaving full-time employment, certain states have certain rules that are guarantee issue rules that say, excuse me, they'll say that if you're losing employment coverage involuntarily, meaning they're terminating you off the plan for some reason, that gives you guarantee issue. That's in a certain number of states. We have the list in our office on every cubicle. If you're just leaving voluntarily and you're not new to Medicare, that may give you no guarantee issue option. And if it does give you guarantee issue, it's going to fall back to your Plan F or Plan G as the only guarantee issue thing you can get without going through underwriting. So to show you all those options, we need to know how old you are, when you started Medicare Part B, and whether you're going to be terminated involuntarily or not, and what state you're in. A lot of factors there. That's why it's best not to do it yourself and just go try to sign up for a plan and either get denied or find the wrong company or the wrong plan. That's what we can help you with. But some good choices that you have in front of you. I just hope that there's, depending on all those three different factors, something we can do to get you in a really good plan. We've gone from 150 down to 118 folks, so it's a good time to cut it off. Man, I've got a lot of good stuff here for the end. Let me see if I've missed anything that I'd put on here. Nope, that's it. So a lot of good questions. We'll continue to do these live streams because it's challenging to me professionally, mentally, and every other way. It's fun to get on here. Oh, look at that. One more industry expert. I'm an RN case manager at a large hospital. I can't begin to tell you the difficulties and hassles dealing with Medicare Advantage plans when arranging for outpatient services prior to the patient leaving the hospital. Wow. And she said again, thank you for putting that in there. Never got a certificate of creditable coverage from employer when he was laid off. No problem with Part B and the L564 issues with Part D. I would call the employer back and see if you can get that from them. You can probably also call the health plan that you're with, and they can at least give you coverage, proof of coverage for when the health plan was in the employer. Sometimes employers will change their group coverage sometimes, and hopefully you've had the same continuity of the same group care coverage the entire time that he was post 65 years old. That's the only period in which you have to show proof of creditable coverage, was the time that he was first eligible for Medicare at 65 up until the time that he's left there. And then you can't have a break in coverage between the time that he had no coverage until he wants Part D. Of course, now we're in the annual enrollment period, so he can sign up for a drug plan, but just understand that there may be a Part D penalty, which is 1% per month of the average Part D premium across the country, 1% per month that you did not have coverage. So let's say he left work and didn't have coverage for since January. That could be going back any number of months times 1% times the number of months. And then it won't kick in with credible coverage starting with a new drug plan, of course, until January. So definitely get a drug plan. I'm not sure where you are on that stage of that. You can always call, and we're going to get full up. We may even be full right now to do manual drug plan reviews, even for our current clients, just looking at just the drug plans. So one thing that you may want to call is Medicare directly. If you need help beyond startpartd.com, if you can't figure it out, you can't use our site, which I think is pretty easy for most people. But if you need more in-depth help with that, our calendar is full now for drug plans throughout the remainder of AEP if you're looking at just a drug plan, because it has to be a finite component of all the things that we do. We're helping people change Medicare supplements, people that are getting on Medicare for the first time, people who must get on a Medicare Advantage plan, which is a very complicated, arduous task to go through all the Medicare Advantage options, because we have to look at doctors, hospitals. It's a lot to go through. So anyway, if you can't use Start Part D and you need some help with Part D going through it, I would encourage you to call Medicare. Their number is, you can just go into Google and type in Medicare phone number. It's 800-633-4227, 800-633-4227. If you ask them about Medicare Supplement, they're just going to drive you into an Advantage plan. If you ask them about Medicare plans, they're going to tell you sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan. But if you happen to call, and if you're going to call Medicare, I encourage you to call late at night, because that's when most people are not calling them. So if you're a night owl, it's really good for you to call Medicare at night to ask about claims, coverage, and all that kind of stuff. 800-633-4227, and tell them specifically you only want help, if that's the case, on Part D only. And don't try to upsell you on anything. And don't forget, any drug plan that you make a decision on, they're going to call you and try to do an upsell. Maybe they didn't get to you this year because there are millions of people doing this, but They're going to try to call you and say, you don't need to pay for that Part D plan. Let's get you in this other plan, without giving you a full explanation of what you'd be giving up and all the considerations involved. So that's that. I'm Christopher Westphal. That's my website up above. I really enjoy helping people, really enjoy this business because we've been able to help thousands of people over the years. Really enjoyed all of your, especially your encouraging comments. There were a couple of people who were offended by the fact that there were deer in my live stream from last weekend. Some people that were offended that I said that, whatever. If you're really that irked by something that you hear, you can simply change channels. One of our clients was mad that I had an opinion about the Medicare premium going up so high. Whatever floats your boat. But I'm really encouraged by the people who share encouraging stuff with us in the comments. So please do me a favor and comment something positive if you feel so inclined. Our people are overworked, currently with inflation, underpaid. We know that. They're demanded a lot of them. And now that we're in Eastern Standard Time with a time change right now, with it's dark when we're leaving this office. It's dark when we're getting to this office early this morning. And we're working at least 6 days a week. So any encouraging words that you can put in the comments, our people see them. It encourages them. It lights their fire. So I encourage you to please to say something positive in the comments and like this video if you would. And share it with somebody who may just want to know, hey, who can I trust in the Medicare world? So they can darn sure trust us. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great day, y'all. God bless you. Bye-bye.